Good Monday morning.
Good Monday morning, August 25th.
That's right. Welcome to Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. I'm Angie Fenton.
And I'm Ben Peine, and it looks a little bit different around here. We got a little more space.
It does look a little bit different. We got a little more homey. We got, speaking of homey, you got Big Happy.
My homie right here.
Your homie right there. I always have my big, massive canister of coffee, but also we have our NWSB mugs as people are jumping on and joining us. Can we please talk just for a second? I'm even going to just take a look outside. I mean, Ben,
It's a treat.
if you didn't smile walking outside this morning, I don't know what to tell you.
First jacket of the summer today. Yeah, it was in the 50s this morning. It's refreshing out there, very low humidity. You can see it is clear as a bell out there here at the corner of Vincent's and Market at Extol Media Studios, as we are live here with you with not a cloud in the sky. And we're going to see highs in the 70s today, and pretty much most of the week we're going to see afternoon temperatures in the 70s, running about 10 degrees below normal for this time of the year. We've been talking about this for like a week and a half, and it's finally here. Just a little tease of autumn. Sometimes we call it false fall. And so we're probably going to warm back up as we're not even through September. So it's still summer. But.
Okay, so we are actually going to warm back up.
We'll eventually start to warm back up. And some of you might want it to be a little bit warmer as we get toward, Labor Day weekend.
So what are the picks of the week?
So we're looking at temperatures topping out only in the 70s, so the next several days. Lows in the 50s, near record low temperatures midweek. I haven't said record low in a long time. So record low temperatures, lower 50s. We'll be close to that, especially in some outlying areas. And then just a tad bit warmer, still low humidity though as we head through our Labor Day weekend. So looking awesome.
It is looking awesome, feeling awesome, great. I know you love your outdoor yard work. It's going to be fantastic.
And we've got an awesome guest today.
We do have an awesome guest. We're going to be talking with her coming up here in just a moment. But you have had an eventful past week.
It's been a whirlwind. I mean, we sent Hannah off to college last week. So that was our last dinner as a family together on the left at the Exchange. And then next day took Hannah off to IU. That all went pretty smoothly. And then Brady had a tennis tournament Friday up in Bedford, Indiana, half hour from IU. So I made a sneak visit up to give Hannah a hug Friday. Aww. They won their tournament at Bedford North Lawrence. Little Borden taking on some big schools. So that's Brady in the middle. He won his number one singles. This morning on the right is Hannah in the biggest class that she's ever been in her life.
Absolutely.
So that was this morning, her first class at IU Bloomington. This morning.
Well, so not just a big week for you, but a big week for Mama, Sarah. Yeah. Thinking of you, that's for sure.
Obviously, there's been a lot of tears off and on for everybody with the big change. But we did get a chance to get out and enjoy. Sarah caught this big striped bass out at Patoka Lake, thanks to my neighbors, the Millers, for hosting us out there. And he's a fishing guide, and you're going to like this. The name of the fishing service, Dad Bods and Big Rods.
That.
Hey, he does a great job. Dad Bods and Big Rod. You can find him on probably TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff.
I mean, so we have Todd Prinz, our lead videographer, behind the camera.
I feel like he kind of shook his head at that one.
Todd is like cool as a cucumber. He just had to put his head down. Dad Bods and Big Rods.
It's catchy. Yeah. Pun intended, catchy.
I have some tears in my eyes over that one. We need some Monday funny.
That's free advertising for my name.
I mean, as marketing is kind of in our world, and there we go. Well, before we get to our guest, I will just share really quickly. So I got caught up in the fever, took my daughter, who is right next to me, and some friends and one of the friends' moms to go see K-pop Demon Hunters. It was the sing-along version, and we're not going to get into any of that controversy that, I'm Christian, and the fact that they're slaying demons kind of fits, but there's so many good messages. Plus, I mean, I know I'm too old to say this. All of the songs are bangers.
K-pop what?
K-pop demon hunters.
Demon hunters. Okay, I'm new to this world.
I have friends who don't even have girls, who don't even have kiddos, who are jamming. Just search on social media and you'll see people, and it's like every single one. It was fun. They had a ball.
Where do you find K-pop and the demon hunters? Where did they get
Netflix.
popular?
So
Netflix. Okay. All right.
Netflix. I mean, there's this whole story behind how it's an animated film and all of that, but it was fun. It was fun.
Learn something new every day.
And since we've talked about dads, we got to talk about dad in just a one quick, very different way from dad bods. And what was it?
Big rods.
Big rods. How did I forget that? How did I forget that? So I've shared this before. After dealing with a surprise cancer diagnosis, I was diagnosed 1 week before Christmas 2023. On Christmas Eve, my dad just kind of popped out of nowhere. He'd never really been in my life a whole lot, left when I was 6, and just said, hope you all had great, happy holidays. And I was like, oh, yep, Dad, things are going, like holidays were great. I have cancer. And boom, dropped the bomb. And then boom, Dad came right back. And I'm telling you, and I still don't know how he did this. He remembered every chemo session, every radiation session, every immunotherapy session, every random weird appointment that I had. I'd get a text, a FaceTime, a phone call. And for like this year and a half, I got my dad back.
Yeah.
And so but this is also my dad. He neglected to mention that he's moving to northern Indiana with his wife, not stepmom, his wife. I'm respectful, but that is one boundary. And they're moving 4 hours north, not miles, 4 hours north. And he forgot to tell me like over, the last year and a half. So on the way driving to their new home, they stopped at a Best Western and I got to see my dad.
There you go.
For the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
And my daughter, and I don't have a photo, I didn't share one of those, but I wrote about it on social media. And, it's one of those things where I remember Olive telling me, Mom, if your dad wasn't such a good dad, why would you want him in your life? And I said, Olive, I have a choice, just like we have a choice every single day. You can either look back at all the decades and all of the trauma, the drama, all of that, or you can choose to look forward. And I choose to look forward, and I'm hopeful that this is a new start.
And we talked about this before too. When you were going through that, some people kind of fade away and don't know what to do, but you had someone that stepped up. So.
And some people fade away in ways, and in this really, our next guest will understand that. In some ways, people you believe will be there for you when the going gets tough, when they fade away, it can be really difficult. And then there are people who barely know you, who embrace you in ways that you need and are so surprised about. But so hopefully going to go 4 hours north.
Well, that's good.
And do that.
10 years, that is wild.
10 years, I know. 10
That's right
years.
when you started this company.
And I was very pregnant.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it was really cool because my dad, for the first time ever, was able to be called Grandpa. That was his first. So
very nice, very nice.
I would love, Ben, if you wouldn't mind, because you've known her longest, would you introduce our guest?
So yeah, I worked with this person for I think about 10 years. We are bringing on the show Shay McAllister.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us. And you've got a nice little career change in the works right now.
I'm kind of following in your footsteps, Ben.
Well, there's a lot of people making changes right now, but obviously thanks for being on our show here,
Thank you for
Extol
the invite.
Unfiltered, coming in early this morning. And obviously, Angie.
Yes.
Work together at the same
Co-workers
place.
at some point too.
That's right.
That's right.
So Shay, let's back this up just for a second. You left it's fully up to you, but you left with love and a great send-off, WHAS
Absolutely.
11.
Yes.
And now we'll let you introduce Shay Informed because it is awesome.
Yeah, so when I left WHAS, my contract was over. It was the perfect time to reevaluate. What do I really want to do next? What fits my life now? And when I signed this contract 3 years ago, I was in a way different place. I wasn't married. I didn't have a baby. Things were different. And so I had a lot to consider.
Sure.
And when I started thinking about it, and I mentioned this to you guys earlier today, when I go into a grocery store and people say hi, they usually say, I love following you on social media. I'm sorry, I don't watch the news.
Right. Well, I mean, everybody's habits are changing and where they get
Yeah.
media and news. So we saw that firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, social media is where a lot of people are all day long, and they weren't watching us on the news, even though we spent all day getting ready for the
Right.
news. And so I just wondered, is there a different way to do this, a better way to do this that will allow me more time with my family, more time at home, to be a more present mom, but keep doing what I love, which is journalism.
and talk more about what this is, Shea Informed.
Yes.
What are people going to get and see?
Sure. So shayinformed.com is a new website, and I went live 1 week ago today. The concept behind it is that it is just the stories you need to know to be a good, informed citizen in the Kentuckiana area. So national news that actually has an impact here, not just clickbait headlines,
stuff, yeah.
but national news that is impacting us locally. And I clearly explain how this is impacting us locally. For example, last week, Canada pulled back some of the retaliatory tariffs after a good talk with President Donald Trump. And that story impacts us directly because Canada is one of the leading importers of Kentucky bourbon. Yeah. So when they had put their tariffs down, that hurt Kentucky distilleries. Now they've removed that, which is huge. So I'm trying to filter through the mass amounts of news that are out there every day, pick the stuff that really matters, explain why it really matters.
I love that you said pick what is most relevant to us instead of clickbait. We all know it. What I love about viewers is viewers are savvy. You'll see in the comments people calling it out, going, "This happened in, Spokane, Washington. Why are you reporting on it? Blank, blank." And you're one of the Kentucky TV stations. But also that puts a great responsibility on you. So how do you manage that? And it's really twofold. How do you manage what you share? But also, I really, truly believe that you are one of the rare journalists out there who's reporting. You're not, sure, you may have commentary at some point in some way, but you're reporting as opposed to tell me how I'm supposed to feel, which way too many times we're getting talked at on, news platforms from national to local. So how do you decide what we need to know, and how are you going to keep that fair but compassionate?
Well, I'm still figuring it out. We're 1 week in here for me.
1 week.
1 week in. But it is just me. It's a one-woman operation right now. So I spend a lot of time looking at social media. What questions are people talking about? Honestly, most of the stuff on my website comes from tips that people send to me.
Love that.
Have you heard about this? Did you see this? What do you know about this? Then I start making calls. I start doing the exact same process I was doing at the TV station, where I'm confirming everything independently. The one big difference is now I can be very transparent about what I don't know. Oftentimes we would just write exactly what we did know. Yeah. Now I'm making it a point to show people I'm asking these questions, and this person's not calling me back. This person is not answering me. I want people to know exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, who I'm getting, the process, where I'm getting information, so they can believe that this is true. It's coming from, a factual, believable source. Now, I am just one person, and news happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so part of keeping this manageable for me is really that selection process, where I'm not committing to put every single thing that happens in every single community on my website, but the big stories that are impacting a large amount of people, they will be there.
Well, when I was still working at the station, I'm not going to say who said it, but they're like, the longer you're in this business, the more work you're going to be doing. So now you can take that work for yourself. Right. Huge change there. So.
Right. But it has been so wonderful. And I was so nervous even just a week ago to put myself out there in this way, to say, invest in me, believe in me, trust me. It's such a vulnerable position to be in. And both of you have done it, before me even, where you're saying, I'm no longer connected to this reputable news organization. I'm just asking you to believe and trust in me personally. And that is a scary, scary thing to do.
It's scary, but you started this 1 week ago. And again, you can share what you want, but can I ask this? From the support that you have seen, do you feel like this jump was worth it?
Absolutely.
And sustainable?
I mean, so we're 1 week in. I have more than 7,000 subscribers to the website. I've gotten so much incredible feedback of people who have been saying, I've been waiting for this. This is exactly what I want. I send a weekly newsletter. So the first one went out over the weekend.
Yes.
And it's very clear. These are the big stories that happened this week. This is something to look for next week. And then a sneak peek of what I'm calling Shay Originals, which is just a good community-based story that my subscribers will have access to. And I've got just wonderful feedback. That's exactly what you want to hear as a journalist. People who are like, this was easy to read. You don't have to wade through ads. You don't have to feel like you're getting misled. There's no complicated pop-ups here. And that's what I want people to feel like when they're reading my stuff, that it's easy and it's digestible and it's true.
I got my first Shay Informed in my email today.
It was
I got the recap.
exciting. I mean, we're subscribers.
And I hate to admit this, but I haven't watched a newscast since I left that business in March. So I probably need to be informed. So I appreciate that I can get it sent right to me in the
I'm
email.
happy to have you.
And you had a great interview with Terry Miners, a friend of all of ours. And just talk about your huge rise in your followers. Like, there's not a lot of people around this area that have a following like you do. And I remember how well you handled that Tiger King craziness. And then you had a huge jump there. And then, of course, Crystal Rogers. And then you just kept putting yourself out there. Yes, big stories, but you've also been very honest and authentic with your followers.
Break down, though, because obviously Ben has a little inside baseball. Start with that Tiger King craziness that he just alluded to.
Yeah, sure. So back in 2020 COVID times, I was working an investigation based here in Southern Indiana, up in Charlestown, where there was a so-called animal refuge, wildlife in need. Some of your audience may be familiar because it was really popular. But I had some employees reach out and say that this is not what it seems. And I started investigating, and I put my investigation out there. And then the producers of Tiger King, which is a popular Netflix documentary, contacted me and asked if I would share my findings as part of their documentary. So I did, and that was a crazy process. And after that, I got a lot of followers.
I mean, everybody in the world was watching that.
Yeah, it was that COVID time where if there was something good on Netflix, everybody was watching it. And Tiger King was like one of those things where it was like cringy, but you can't stop watching. You know? So that was big. Crystal Rogers, missing woman from Bardstown, her case just went to trial. That was big. So I have had some really big opportunities that I've leaned into. You know, when
the podcast, Bardstown.
Yeah, when I tell people care about something, I really try to feed it as much as I can to keep people interested and engaged. But then, like you mentioned, Ben, and you do this too, and I think I might have seen you doing this when I first started at WHAS. I feel like when people know you as a person, they trust you more, and they want to follow you more, and they're more engaged with you. And so I just made a decision early on to be not just Shay the journalist, but show everything else that's going on in my life, the good and the bad, and be very open and transparent about it. And I think that helped grow following as well, just because you weren't just getting news on my feeds, you were also getting a lot of pieces of life.
A lot of positive feedback I see on your comments every day, so it's great.
That's the authenticity. I mean, here at Extol, which produces Extol Unfiltered and several other different types of live streams, I mean, it's the same type of thing that we tell clients all the time. If I trust you, I will do business with you. I will look at you as opposed to this nameless, faceless entity and have a better experience for it. I mean, you're really letting people in. But speaking of letting people in, I mean, how is this as a parent for you? I mean, we talked to Ben, equal opportunist, because women are the ones who usually get asked about our balance, and we always talk to Ben about this as well, because that was one of the biggest reasons he wanted to find something new, was that balance in life. So how are you able to manage now this newfound life that you've created?
Oh my gosh, it's so much better. My baby is 10 months old. And, especially this first year, her bedtime is 7:30. And so when I was getting home at 6:30, I was getting home in the thick of it. And, I'm running into the door. I'm at the end of a really adrenaline-filled 2 hours newscast. And it's the end of her day, so she's tired and she's trying to wind down, and I'm in tons of makeup and work clothes, and it was just didn't feel fair to me or to her.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, when I work when she's busy, I work when she's napping, when she's with her grandparents, when she goes to bed. It's just totally different, and when I'm with her, I'm totally with her.
You made that change at the right time, because they get older, they get into more activities, and everybody sacrifices when they have a career.
Yeah.
But I mean, I called myself Mr. Miss Out. I was at work with a FaceTime of a tennis match or volleyball, and I was just like, that's enough.
I can't imagine. I mean, that's just so hard, because you're not going to think back to that great newscast, but
Right.
you do remember the FaceTime, the tennis match you weren't at. Yeah. Which is so common for our industry, that to be successful, you had previously, you had to sacrifice. You couldn't be there after work. You couldn't be there during the day. Or, to be good at TV News, you had to be all in.
Yeah.
And I think that still is the case for TV News. I just don't think you have to do TV News to give people the information they need anymore.
And the same for all of us. I went to college to become a meteorologist, got to fulfill that dream. Now the dream has just shifted into this. So kind of the same with you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the idea of having to leave journalism was just not comprehensible to me. I was not interested. I love what I do. I always have. I want to keep doing it forever. It's not just work. It is something I really enjoy and feel passionate about. And so when I started thinking about, okay, if I leave TV News, what do I do? It had to be, journalism had to be part of it. And so I feel really lucky that I've found a way to keep going.
I love that you have people who have jumped on and supported immediately, because one of the things that we also are finding, I mean, we're so lucky that people have jumped on with Extol related content. Like we are Southern Indiana focused. I mean, I have a picture of me, and my daughter was born on Wednesday night, and we got home Friday because we were gonna have a snowstorm, and they sent us home right at that 48-hour mark. And then Olive is in a bassinet, and I'm sitting there at the computer because the magazine has to go to bed, and I'm the editor and the publisher. And there's a part of me that it breaks my heart, but there's a part of me that's also very proud, because my little girl's gonna know you were a priority, but Mama also had to help pay the bills, and I love what I do for a living. So there's a lot of emotions in that picture, but I say this because it wasn't without the community support that we wouldn't be here 10 years later. You had an immediate response. And one of the things that I love about owning your own business, owning your own brand, is that when you wake up in the morning, hopefully, one, you're excited. And it doesn't mean you're not going to do hard work and get down in the nitty gritty, but also there's this little bit of fear, because it can go away in the blink of an eye. What are you doing to, one, I mean, look what's happened to you in a week. I mean, you're able to pay your bills because people are supporting you, but at the same time, is there this little part of you that's going, okay, what's next? What's next? How would you manage all of that?
I mean, most of my day is what's next. I really feel like I'm building this airplane and flying it at the same time, honestly. And you guys probably do too.
Yeah.
We empathize.
Because
We shift and pivot and
Yep.
yeah,
All
make
the
a new
time.
set.
All the time.
I guess that's just
Yeah.
what it is, right? I mean, you do your best every day. You try something new. It doesn't work. You try something different. You try something that works. You lean into that. that's kind of my plan here. I'm lucky. I have a really supportive husband. Both of our families are so supportive of this that when I put this idea out there, my parents were like, we got you. If this doesn't work, we're right there with you, And so I feel like I really had a lot of support. Everyone said, do it. You can do this. You can do it.
If you're just joining us, welcome to Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. This is Shay McAllister of Shay Informed. You know her from WHS 11, but you really know her from social media, and you're going to continue to see her. You're going to weigh in with a couple of comments. This is really sweet from, let me see if we can get this in there, from Vicky Berger. Hello, everybody. Beautiful day in Salem. Shay, you've done a wonderful job with the Crystal Rogers case. Keep up the great work. What can you tell us? Is there more coming?
Well, we have a big sentencing coming up on September the 17th. Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson will be sentenced to prison time. It's likely after all the sentencings are complete that they will all probably file an appeal because they were all convicted on all charges. And after that, we've still got several unsolved cases. The Ellis family, Jason Ellis was a Bardstown police officer. He was ambushed in 2013 on his way home from work. His family is still desperate for answers in that case. The Ballard family, Crystal's family, still has their dad, Tommy Ballard, who was shot and killed while hunting 1 year after she went missing. That's still an open case. Both of these cases are being investigated by the same people who were working Crystal's case, and they have seemed hopeful that they're moving in the right direction in possible arrests in those two cases, but it took 8 years to get the first arrest.
I remember when you started working on those and doing the Bardstown podcast, to me it seemed like there was very little hope anything was going to happen. So it had to be pretty wild to see these changes over the last.
It was almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because you don't normally.
Yeah.
After 8 years, you don't normally see an arrest. That's so rare. But the difference was they brought in a new prosecutor. They brought in new detectives. They brought in people who had a mindset shift that were going to go about this in a different way because they knew that there was people responsible and they were going to get them. And that's what happened in that case. And I think just the momentum has fueled the other investigations, and I hope that it has.
For sure. Pam Way says, best of luck, Shay, which we love. We love when viewers will comment. So if you have any comments for Shay, for us, please weigh in. And I'm going to throw this one. Oh, this is sweet. Good to see Ben and Shay together in a different way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were
different way.
We were anchors at different times. I mean, on different shows throughout our 10 years. So yeah.
But I think because you were back on the evenings at the end.
Yeah.
And so we probably did at least a year or
I was
two.
back and forth all over the place.
I
so.
know. I know. You were on all the shows.
Yeah.
From Kellyanne Noop, so good to see this option for Ben and Shay to still be the best in their profession, but to also be a part of their family life, daily life now, not waiting until retirement after so much life has passed by. And Shay, you'll get this. We had a former newsie, we'll just call her that, who told Ben and I, congrats on retirement. And I was like, Tara, not quite. We're working harder than we ever have before with balance, though. So this isn't retirement. And she didn't mean it in any negative way. She's doing amazing things in her life. But this is just a new chapter and one that you get to control.
I'm really looking forward to that. As scary as it is, it does feel very empowering to just say, I'm gonna choose my priorities and where I'm gonna spend my time and where I'm gonna put my energy. And that is not, you don't have that option when you work in TV news.
You're going to avoid some horror stories. I remember when my kids were babies, we just moved here. I was weekend meteorologist, chief meteorologist out of town. Sarah's at her grandpa's funeral out of town. Oh. I'm alone with my two babies. The news director's like, this is old management, by the way. If there's a severe thunderstorm warning in the area, you have to be at the station. Severe thunderstorm warning. Had to be at the station. Didn't know anybody around. I mean, frantic, stressed out. What are we going to do here? Thankfully, someone from church, John Fox, who watches all the time, his daughters came to our house immediately, had somebody watch the kids.
Wow.
Yeah, we really didn't know. It was like, here, watch these kids. So those were the stressful times. 30-hour plus shifts with snowstorms or severe weather, driving home, just feeling like you're not right. You're like dizzy and everything. So you're avoiding all of that, and that balance is going to be priceless for you.
I'm really looking forward to that, because I know you and all of the journalists who worked in TV news before me, before us, have made major sacrifices to bring people the important information that they needed to know. And I mean, importantly, back in those days, 15, 20 years ago, you did need, I mean, the news was the only way to get that information.
only.
So those sacrifices were for the community, and they were amazing sacrifices. I believe now you don't need the 6 o'clock news in the morning and the 6 o'clock news at night to be informed. People are on their phone all day. They're getting their information in a totally different way. So I believe there's just a different way to do it, where you're still there for your community. You're informing your community. You just don't need to be on the news.
One thing that Ben and I have, because we all have very different paths. I mean, one of my biggest memories is, they did not pay. I was a part of the team, but I was contract. So I was working for WHS 11. I was editor of the Voice Tribune, and I was building Extol with my business partner at the same time, and a new mama. Like, I still don't know. I still don't know how I did it. I grieve a bit. I went back to work 3 weeks after giving birth to Olive because they needed me back. And if I wasn't coming back, I'd be replaced. And having that hanging over your head. And then, I will always, always love our former general manager, Christy Marino, giving me that opportunity to host a lifestyle show that ultimately became very, very, very heavy on the selling side, and it was a choice. I didn't want to sign to stay because I wanted to talk more community. And so we've created what we've wanted, but our daughter is involved. She's grown up. I've been taking her since she was a little tiny thing, and now, she's got her own segment on a TV show that we have on WBKI, the CW. But we have all different types of experiences. But the best part is, like you said, what's next? We get to create that. We get to create that. But what, and especially for people who are watching, who are saying the same thing, because I believe there's enough to go around. I truly believe that. But what advice, just based on what you have done, and Ben, even you too, because this is still a new venture, what advice would you give for someone from the ground level who's interested in maybe trying something like this, whether it's selling their crafts or what have you? Not just journalism, not meteorology. What advice would you give them?
I actually was texting Ben for advice before I left, because he left first.
And I was texting our mutual friend Matt advice. So
which I love that.
We've been asking for advice.
Yes. And so what are some pieces of advice that you would give?
I would follow somebody that's successful and kind of see what they do. Obviously, be authentic in what you're doing. And if you're creating something, whether it's a fishing pole or you're creating content, whatever it might be, you got to be consistent. You got to always have it out there, whether it's weekly or daily. But the thing that's changed for all of us, back in the day, we couldn't make this. Like, you had a photographer, an editor, Todd over here, our former coworker, still coworker, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Used to edit our stories and everything like that. So now you can do it all yourself.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
I will say this, we still have Todd do a lot of it, and Colin and Mila, and I can keep going on because, not this part of it, but you can, and that ugly creative, it doesn't have to be all fancy schmancy. There's a lot of different apps and things.
It's funny, I've had a few calls with young journalists literally in the last week since I announced this, that are like, okay, how did you get there? What do I do? Where do I go from here? And the biggest thing I'm telling all of them is you have to build a following.
Yep.
You have to build a community of people who like you and trust you and want to, help you in a new journey. And I don't know that I could have done this without that, and I couldn't have.
And can we also, though, address this for all of that, the people who like us and follow us, you are inevitably going to have the ones who are going to do everything they can to tear you down, to hijack your posts, to turn it into something, political where you didn't even mention it. And you got to just let them go. Don't spend
So
your
hard.
energy.
Well, I
Yeah.
learned from something from you. I didn't know there was a feature where you could a comment doesn't come on for like 24 hours or something like that.
You have to wait 24 hours to comment.
To comment, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a bot or whatever.
Right. I
Yeah.
had to start doing that because my social media posts would just get immediately swarmed with bots, scammers. And so I turned that off. But then I had people who were getting mad at me like, oh, you're limiting comments. You don't want the truth to come out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, 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 no.
Trying to control it.
I'm limiting comments because I don't want you to click on a bad link, Nancy. I'm trying to help you.
Educating people,
Yeah.
letting them know that. Now, has that helped you or hurt?
No, I think it's helped. Honestly, if there's one thing I've learned on social media, I have to be careful about who I respond to because people go to bat for you. And so sometimes someone will say something negative to me. I have to ignore it because if I draw attention to it, I mean, the troops
Yeah.
will jump on them and I don't want that.
You
Yeah.
definitely don't want that. Okay, I'm going to pull up a couple more. Is it Sue-Ann? Sue-A, Kaylin, and Shively. Good
morning.
morning. Kim Hettinger, love this bunch. Kim, love right back to you. Ooh, I love this. Vicky Berger, Shay, are you going to continue the Ellis and Ballard case? Because
Yes.
probably just jumping on.
Yes, absolutely. Those investigations have a long way to go and I'm looking forward to seeing them through.
Now, again, we want, and I mean, as soon as it came out, then I went and I signed up, I subscribed. It is so inexpensive and worth the price. People can pay, what is it, $4.99 a month? I mean, that's what it equates to, something like that.
Yes, it's if you want to sign up for shayinform.com, which is my new independent journalism platform, it's $4.99 a month if you pay monthly, or if you want to pay for a year, $50 a year, which is more like $3.99 a month.
Yeah.
And that number is just based off of research. That's the number that's suggested for an independent journalist. What that gets you access to is what I call these Shay Originals, which is reporting you'll only see on my website, behind the scenes access to raw interviews, so you can hear the whole thing. You can hear every question I asked that maybe didn't make it into the report. But I do want to say there's also free membership that still gets you access to all of the posts on my website and also the weekly newsletter. So if you don't feel like you need the extras, but you would like to just be informed with a weekly newsletter, the free is a great option. And I'm thankful, super thankful for every single person who signed up, paid or free. It has been an overwhelming response, but really exciting.
Will we see at some point sponsorships? Are you going after those for, I mean, especially things like on the social media channels, Facebook, etc.?
Right now, I am saying no to ads and sponsorships just because with journalism, it is really a tricky thing to navigate. It's a lot different than weather because there's no ethical considerations. No matter who is sponsoring weather, you're never going to be talking about them. You're talking about the weather.
There's not much bias. I mean, we get what
Right.
we get with the weather.
Right.
It's so refreshing
Yeah.
because do you remember, I mean, I'm older than you both, and I remember like news and features even were separated, and then sales was on like a whole other floor. And then all of a sudden it got into this big mix.
It really is tricky. And for giant news operations, they have to sell. They have to pay 80 salaries and they have to pay for a giant building. And there's a lot more that they have to pay for there. But for me, I'm one person.
Yeah.
And I'm working in my home office, and it's a lot different. And so, yes, I have bills to pay. I have a baby to feed, which is why I have these subscriptions. But my ideal and my plan is no advertisements, no sponsorships, just so I can stay fully independent. The only people I'm answering to are subscribers.
And from what you have on there now, in the future, you might see maybe some podcasting, some other content?
Yes, I'm working on a podcast right now, and I'm not saying too much about it because I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, and I don't want anyone to feel like I promised something and didn't deliver. But subscribers will have access to all of the audio makings that I'll come up with.
Not to mention, you just did this a week ago.
Yeah, one
Right.
week.
And it's impressive. You need
Right.
to make sure that you check out Shay on YouTube as well. I mean, to see the numbers there where she literally just started the channel and boom. I mean, I'm on your Facebook page. I follow, Extol follows. And I mean, to watch you grow overnight by thousands of followers. I mean, it's exciting. And I also implore our community that's here with us to consider, say that you paid up front that $50 for a year of Shay Informed, consider that you are, yes, you receive something, but you also get to support something that is in rare demand and so needed. And in the whole scope of things, what can I, $50 that I just spent on who knows what, that I can use to support you and know that you are doing a greater good. My little contribution is helping thousands of others as well. Feels kind of good.
I appreciate that, Angie, and I do hope people, when they make the investment, that they feel like they're part of it. You know, I consider people who are signing up and buying memberships part of it, and it's what it is independent journalism, and it's very needed, I think, right now. It's something different, but I can't do it without subscribers. I can't do it without support, so I'm really, really grateful.
It's a community, and you're in this community for a reason. You love the area. You grew to love the area. You even got your parents
I know.
to move over
I
here.
know.
So, and I did the same thing. I moved my mom over from St. Louis. So when you fall in love with the community, I mean, you're giving back, and it's a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, I love Louisville. I love Southern Indiana. I love this area. When I moved here 10 years ago, I didn't know anyone. I'd only been here once, and it was for the interview at WHAS 11. But I fell in love, and I'm still here. And I say fell in love. I fell in love with the community. You know, I just feel like home is here.
Yeah.
And so many of us, right?
Yep.
One quick thing about WHS 11. I mean, I think there's a lot of us, we just have really great memories. I actually started at Wave and then did some work for just about every station, but WHS 11 was home for me for 9 years, 17, 10, and have much love no matter what happens. Todd Prinz, who's behind the cameras from WHS 11, we know, things
20?
have changed, but 20. But much love to WHS 11 in a time of change and turbulence. And I'd have to say Extol Unfiltered, Caffeinated by NWSB, because we do have a sponsor which helps to produce this. When we look at the numbers, because it isn't just the live, we'll often say, or join us on the replay, because you can catch us from anywhere, literally in the world at any time for the amount of time, I mean, on YouTube forever, but you can catch us there. And when we are able to look at our numbers, and of course we get to look at ratings, because not only is Extol producing this, but we're marketing, public relations, etc., media production, all of that, we can see the numbers. And our little Monday morning live stream is beating television shows that we never in a million years imagined. And then Ben's show is blowing it out of the water, and you can see that shift from conventional media to what we have here, and it's
Well,
exciting.
I mean, I see it in my daily life. My kids don't watch TV, other than maybe there's like a live sporting event. My daughter doesn't have a TV in her dorm room. Like
Wow.
the shift.
I know, right?
That generation doesn't even care to have a TV on the wall.
You can just watch
So,
Netflix. So I'm going to pull up one last comment from, we love when Angela weighs in. Good morning to you all. Be yourself, keep smiling and reaching. Love this and all of you together. I love that all of you are doing your own thing. Have an awesome day, you all.
That's so nice.
Shay, one more time, people can support and subscribe
Yes.
by doing what?
ShayInformed.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Shay McAllister. and I have it linked up in a million different ways there. So if you have trouble, you can message me and I'll help you out. I'm really excited about what's happening, and I really appreciate the opportunity, you guys.
Well, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. I mean, we talked a lot about this over the months and months and months because we were both kind of afraid to take this jump. So very proud of your success, and keep pushing and keep doing it. Yeah.
And I hope you'll come back again in a few months and get to tell us all the exciting things. But until then, both Ben and I, we support you. We're subscribing and cannot encourage you enough. There is a free option, and then you can also support monetarily this independent journalism that we so badly need. Shay, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Really, really appreciate
And
you.
she made it easy too. Like it took like a
it's
second to
Shay.
sign up.
It's Shay, so of course she made it easy. All right, Ben, real quick with that 7-day forecast once more.
Yeah, phenomenal out there. We're talking mostly 70s this week, lows in the 50s.
Crazy.
Really not seeing much of a chance of precipitation. So that might be one thing we complain about. It gets too dry. And also, if the humidity is really low and it gets breezy midweek, we might have to have a little bit of a wildfire kind of danger, kind of a fire hazard. So we might have to limit burning at some point this week because of the very low humidity. That's kind of the only concern, other than maybe some ragweed pollen that we can complain about, but hard to complain with a forecast like that.
Hard to complain for sure. Okay, we'll be right back with the events of the week.
AML Construction's been building Kentuckiana since 1956. Now, we've joined forces with Summit Construction. Not just a handshake, full force merger. One crew, one mission. Build it better, build it stronger. Same grit, double the horsepower. AML and Summit, forged for what's next. Built right, first time, every time. Visit amlinc.net.
Love that. By the way, if you are a Hoosier and you recognize that voice, that is one Mr. Brad Denman from NWSB lending his voice. Congrats to AML and Summit.
People you know wherever you go.
NWSB. That's the tagline. That's the tagline for NWSB. I love that you know that. Okay, now it's time for the event of the week. But this time, you know what, Ben? We don't have one. We actually have two events of the week really quickly. This is the Sellersburg August Craft Market. And it's events of the week presented by Rasmussen Chiropractic. Now, the craft market is happening on Saturday, this coming Saturday from 9 until 2 at the Life Center behind Kingdom Life Church in Sellersburg. Admission is free, parking is free, and you'll find up to 70 vendor booths inside. Handmade items, crafts, direct sales, local businesses, all under one roof. It's a great chance to shop local and support your community. And this is another Show My Crafts event, which I love their events. So again, that is this Saturday. And then this, I think, would be more up your alley. On Sunday, it's Devonian Dining and the Outer Fossil Bed Hike at Falls of the Ohio State Park in Clarksville from 4 to 7 on Sunday. You will be guided by Mike Gibson on a late afternoon stroll across the fossil beds. Bring your walking stick, your picnic dinner, maybe a camera, and then you're going to learn about both ancient and modern wildlife. You can eat on a rock table, take in the unique experience of dining outdoors, surrounded by history that dates back hundreds of millions of years. It is free. Bring your own picnic dinner. You're going to pack in with your picnic dinner and pack out your trash. And these are our events of the week presented by Rasmussen.
The weather's going to be real nice for that little picnic out there.
It's going to be a beautiful time, other than
best weather we've seen since probably May.
But you did say watch out for that.
Yeah, a little bit of a fire danger. Just watch out if you're burning outdoors this week because the real low humidity and the breezes that we'll have. So.
All right. Well, before we go, we always love to share. Adam Kleiner is the creative director at Extol, and he's also a Henryville-based artist. I do not watch these. The only thing that I do, I set them on the background. So check out this Hoosier connection from Henryville Artist in another installment of Art with
Regina
Adam.
Marie Kirk was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but you might better know her by her professional name. Jenna Fisher is an actress who most notably played America's sweetheart, Pam Beasley, on the hit TV show The Office. she has went on to have a successful career in film and television. Currently, she hosts a popular podcast called Office Ladies with her Office co-star, Angela Kinsey. Recently, Fisher was diagnosed with breast cancer, but with successful treatments is now cancer-free and uses her platform to advocate for employers to offer dedicated time off for employees to undergo cancer screenings.
I love that it's not only so much talent that goes into that,
I had no idea.
but what I learned, I didn't know that she was from here. I know
So-
she got like a St. Louis connection. I think she's a blues.
We have a show called This is Southern Indiana on WBKI, the CW, and at some point soon, we're going to put back-to-back Art with Adam
Yeah.
segments because they're all there. And who was the cat? There, Mr. Bubs. Oh,
I don't-
there's a cat that was connected, and Adam schooled us
It was like
both.
wasn't like a grumpy cat, was it?
It was a grumpy cat, and maybe it was the first one.
I
All right,
forget.
don't listen to us. We're not quite 100%
It's
sure.
Monday.
It is still Monday.
Yeah.
But as always, we appreciate you joining us. Ben at 10.
Now, I might be on a few minutes late. We've moved some things
We have
around.
moved some
So
things
if it's
around.
a couple minutes late, pop on.
Pop on because he has much to talk about. And again, thanks to Shay McAllister. Visit shayinformed.com. I'll bring that right up on the screen once more, shayinformed.com, to not only subscribe, but support her. Support her in her efforts. We need trusted journalists, and Shay has proven that she's one of those. So I appreciate that she took the time. Ben at 10 starts, well, hopefully in 6 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see
Maybe
in a
a
few
couple
minutes.
minutes afterwards. Have a good rest of your Monday. Thanks for joining us for Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB.